Hello there, darling. My name is Tarani Nicole, and today I'm going to be sharing with you about what it means to awaken your own sacred feminine energy. The sacred feminine is the vital life force that lives in everything in nature. And it is through this cultivation of the sacred feminine that we get to come back to our source as women and the power, the pleasurable power that is omnipresent in womanhood when you remember your inherent connection to life and just how potent that purpose is as a feminine being. So this conversation of the sacred feminine is near and dear to my heart, as this is the greatest devotion of my life, is supporting women just like you and deepening her relationship. I want to begin by just sharing my perspective on what it genuinely means to be cultivated in your sacred feminine energy. Who is she? So one of the core principles that I believe that supports the sacred feminine and coming into her fullness is the remembrance that she doesn't have to know. The sacred feminine feels, and that is her greatest, most potent gift, is her ability to feel. This experience of feeling can be very overwhelming, right? And I believe that it's through this cultivation of genuinely learning how to feel that allows you to expand your capacity to feel the inherent wealth and truth and efflorescence of being a woman who is full into herself. And so the woman who can fully feel, who genuinely feels, who gives herself permission to feel, is therefore really deeply in touch with life. She's in touch with the butterflies and the flowers and the trees, but also the cycle of the stars, the cycle of her own womb and her community and her family around her. And so this becomes her great purpose, is to be the one who is deeply in touch with life and therefore helps the cycle of life continue in a very abundant, well-nourished, and really juicy way. And so it's in this way, through the cultivated feminine, who is open to feeling, whose channel is open to receiving life and being deeply in touch with life, that she already knows. Because within every sacred woman is an oracle. And the oracle embodies the truth that she already knows, that that which she seeks is truly within her. And this will help you end cycles of comparison or searching for answers outside of you or not fully feeling your worth or your value. So the sacred feminine is deeply in touch with her own value because she's in relationship with herself. She's cultivated in her remembrance as an oracle. She's connected to life. She's connected to the divine. And therefore, she is in the fullness of who she truly is and is living ecstatically in harmony with life. The sacred feminine is here to listen to life, to ask life, what do we need? What do you need? And to work with her fertile, creative life force energy to birth the world that we are bringing in. And through her self-cultivation, the sacred feminine is open to receiving. She's done the internal alchemy to alchemize, genuinely, deeply alchemize from the inside out any patterns of self-sabotage or self-torture, where she forgets her power, where she forgets her purpose, and can sometimes create these blockages or illusions around who she is. And so it's through this alchemy process that the sacred feminine fully comes into herself and therefore expands her capacity to breathe, live, and receive the love of life right here in her feminine body. And through slowing down and softening and listening and truly taking time to unravel your own knots, the sacred feminine within you will become unbound. She will unbound herself. She will stretch and she will awaken and she will spread her wings to take flight in a whole new direction. When your sacred feminine awakens, life genuinely leads you exactly where you need to go. So in my work with women from all around the world, all different cultures, whether that's we've worked together in person at retreats or online in my courses or just simply in my social media, my blog, all the different places that I work with women, I have found that the number one most important place to begin in your path along awakening your sacred feminine energy is to actually begin detoxing from hypermasculinity and all of these patterns of being a hyper-independent woman. I've come to realize that the hyper-independent woman, some of us may know this as the boss babe, right? This is actually a trauma response. When we learn how to hold it all together and be super independent and source our power from the space of we have to in order to keep it all together, this is a trauma response. And every time this trauma response is activated, we actually step more into our masculine rather than softening into our feminine. Now, this can show up in your workplace, this can show up in your family dynamics, this can show up in your relationship with yourself and how you navigate life. This is a really sneaky pattern, this hyper-independence, hyper-masculine dominated femininity. And so in order for your sacred feminine to fully awaken and unravel, you must soften. You must soften all of those edges that have become sharp and clearly defined and strong, because it is those edges that are keeping you in a nervous system and psychological state of hypermasculinity. And the sacred feminine knows and trusts the resonance that her softness is what cultivates her strength. Because when she's fully in herself, when she is softened deep enough to become fully in coherence with her center, she is unshakable and she is fortified. Not just strong, but she is fortified to be able to handle anything and everything that life brings her. So catch patterns, catch where you go into your masculine energy. Look at what areas of your life you automatically shift into a masculine energy and ask yourself if this is in right relationship. Because we all need the cultivation of our masculine energy to lead our lives and to support us. But oftentimes we're not living with integrity with our masculine energy, and we start to create these walls and these blockages that we think are protecting us, or our subconscious thinks it's protecting us, but actually they're creating resistance with our relationship with life. And then once you catch those patterns, just begin to soften. Soften into your body, go lay on the earth, hug a tree, move your body, breathe into your womb, and do rituals and ceremonies and practices that bring you deeply into your feminine body. If you're watching this, it's because you have a feminine soul, and there's a part of yourself that longs to get to know her deeper. And the way to deepen with your sacred feminine is in and through your body. I teach women how to alchemize these wounds or traumas that keep us in patterns of hypermasculinity, and therefore rituals and ceremonies to soften into her, whether that's through embodiment practices, meditations, movement, breath work, breast massage, womb massage. There's so many different ways that you can soften into your feminine body and start to get in touch with that sacred feminine life force. So as you do the work, the internal healing work to soften and to heal, naturally all of that bound energy will begin to unfurl and your sacred feminine will blossom. But you have to feel safe enough to do that. And that is a level of safety that can't just be harnessed in the mind. The mind will say I'm safe, but the body, the soma, might be stuck in a fear paradigm. And so you have to learn how to get your body to feel safe so that your feminine can awaken. Essentially, this process is a process of emptying out, allowing all that is not you to just empty, to let go, to shed, to go into the earth, to release, so that you can genuinely be filled up to the brim, to be supple and porous for the divine energy. That is the sacred feminine's principle. She's receptive, she's open, she must be poured into so that she can be resourced. And so emptying out can be a really intense experience, right? Because the sacred feminine lives in a full spectrum. Oftentimes there's a purge, quite literally, that has to happen. This can look like rage, this can look like anger, this can look like grief, it can look like sadness. All of the repressed emotions within your feminine body, you're essentially giving them permission to be expressed so that they can be emptied out. That's why it's really supportive to find a feminine guide to help you through these transformational processes so that you can empty yourself in a really safe container. I do hold this for women, but maybe there's somebody in your local community, or of course you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Actually, what this process is doing when you're emptying yourself out is it actually allows you to refine the truth of who you are and your own organic, true feminine nature. Not who the world's told you to be, not who your family told you to be, not what your trauma made you become, who you are. As you discover who you are, you begin to resonate with life in a very peculiar way. You feel the magic, you feel the presence, the power, the pleasure, the purpose of being a sacred woman. And this will deepen your self-trust. It will deepen your devotion to yourself. It will deepen your capacity to genuinely feel confident in everything that you pursue. It will allow you to genuinely receive the love of the relationships in your life. And as your sacred feminine awakens, so does your fertility, so does your creative energy, because you're resourced. You actually have the capacity to radiate that fertile feminine frequency. And as that fertility awakens, you start to engage with more things that nourish her and support her in blossoming. You might start to feel called to go to women's gatherings or retreats or join online communities that support you in finding kinship of other sacred women who are on the path of awakening their feminine souls. New gifts might come online. You might feel called to walk the path of the priestess, or to get to know your inner oracle, or study the sacred feminine mysteries. You begin to process all that is not you, digest it, purge it, let it go, so that you can genuinely cultivate who you are, who you want to be, and what your feminine soul longs to experience. And this is a process of coming to steep in the true oracular beauty of your femininity. And as you steep in this great beauty of your own uniqueness, the essence of your sacred feminine unfurls, awakens, teaches you who you truly are, and will begin to lead your life in very peculiar, magical, and divine ways. Something that I teach within my community to support women in activating their sacred feminine energy is the process of getting out of your head and getting into your womb. We call this the womb consciousness. Within your womb is a sacred goddess, and this goddess is your inner muse. She is your sacred feminine energy. She is the oracle of the womb. And by tapping into your womb consciousness, this oracle of your womb will show you exactly what you need to release so that you can awaken your sacred feminine energy. She will show you how to heal, how to create space, so that you can find what true resonance, true self-trust, true power for you as a feminine soul looks and feels like. But know that in order for your sacred feminine energy to awaken, you must be willing to do the work, not something that just happens overnight. It's a process, a devotional process of tending to your body as a sacred vessel for the goddess. There's a responsibility that must take place. There's a reclamation that happens in order for your sacred feminine to awaken. And just as she requires devotion, she also is going to require a great amount of generosity. A generosity that allows you to unconditionally love and accept yourself just as you are. So the sacred feminine is wise. She feels. She has an oracular relationship with life. She is soft. She is supple. She walks the beauty way, as the Dene and Navajo sisters say. As women, cultivating our sacred feminine energy is such a powerful experience. It's so powerful that many of our ancestors were persecuted and died. And we are so blessed to live in an era where the sacred feminine is safe, to be exalted, to be awoken in life again. So I hope you take this personal responsibility to awaken your sacred feminine energy and to be the brave woman in your lineage who allows her to come back online for her in an organic, natural, and loving way. So cheers to your sacred feminine journey. I hope this video was valuable for you. If it was, please let me know in the comments. I would love to get to know you. My work is for women just like you, and so if you're looking for somebody to deepen with, definitely reach out to me or visit my website, tyrannynicole.com. I have a Venusian Sacred Feminine Mystery School. I do mentorship, one-on-one sessions. There's lots to explore, so don't be a stranger. Come deepen with us in our community, and I deeply bow to the sacred feminine within you who is ripe and ready to awaken. Many blessings.